Afternoon, everybody. Uneducated Economist here. So one of our customers who was doing a remodel job was tearing into a wall and found a newspaper from like 1978. And in this newspaper was an advertisement for lumber and some other items from one of the local lumber yards. And it was cool because like right in the very middle of the ad was 2x4 8s, 59 cents a piece. And I thought, oh my gosh, we sell 2x4s for $8.55 each. And back in 1978, they had them listed at 59 cents each. Not a foot, each. Now, I thought that was really cool, and I thought, you know what? I wonder what that is compared to inflation. Like, in 1978, if they were selling a 2x4 8 for 59 cents, what would inflated 2x4 at that price be? So I busted out the inflation calculator and I punched in 59 cents, 1978 to 2021, and I came up with $2.75, which I thought was really interesting considering that right now, I have personally sold 2x4s at $2.75. In fact, I sold them all the way down at $2.25. And really, $3.25 really isn't that far off from what would be like a realistic price. So $2.75 seems like a very realistic price for me for 2x4 8 standard and better. Now, one of the things I did is it's like, well, what was minimum wage back in 1978? Because one of the things that a lot of people have said to me is just like, why don't you build your own house, man? You got the skills, you work at a lumber yard, you know a lot of people. Why don't you just buy a piece of property and build your own home? And I thought to myself, it's because lumber is incredibly expensive. And a lot of people, I don't think, quite realize how expensive it really is. So in 1978, minimum wage was $2.75 and a stud was 59 cents. Ultimately, somebody with a minimum wage job can buy 4.66 studs every hour, or at the end of the day, buy around 40 studs. Now, today, if you do the inflation, or if you take today's numbers, if you take the inflation from a minimum wage, right? So 1978, minimum wage of $2.75, and you punch in 2021, you should come up with around $11.09, if I remember right. So, and I thought to myself, that's really close to Oregon's minimum wage. Just outside the metro, everything outside the metro area, I believe, is $11.25 an hour now in Oregon. So if you were to have a minimum wage job and you compare that to studs, like studs per hour, you would be able to pick up in fact, there he is. That's the dude who took the picture, Brady. Right on. Oh, that's pretty cool that he drove by right then. But if you had a minimum wage job right now and you went out to go buy studs, you would be able to buy 1.3 studs per hour, or at the end of the day, somewhere around 10 studs. So you think about it, back in 1978, a minimum wage job, you go out there, you buy, you spend your entire day's pay on 2x4s, you're able to build one of the walls to your house. Okay? 40 studs, take care of, all the trimmers, headers, stuff like that. You take care of one of the interior walls to your house. No problems. Today, you would have to work 4 days to be able to acquire enough material to build just one wall in your house. So when people say, why don't you just build your own home, is because you would have to work 4 times harder than you had to have worked in 1978 in order to acquire the material to build a house. So think about that, guys. That's how expensive lumber is today. And one of the things that I found interesting is like, a lot of people talk about inflation, like look at lumber as one of the key things to look at as far as inflation. 59 cents in 1978 and $8.55 in 2021. Well, take a look at that ad, and there's a picture of it on my community page. So just go to my channel, go over to the community page. It's like the first post there. You'll find the advertisement. Now, what I found interesting is if you look in that advertisement, there's a wheelbarrow for sale in there for $50. I think it's $49.99 is what they have it for sale at. Now, it was on sale, and I think normally they had it listed at $59.99, which is not that far off from what we sell wheelbarrows for today. Like, I think last year we had a special on them, looked very similar to the one in that advertisement, for $69.99. There's been like a $10 increase in the price of wheelbarrows since 1978. So answer that one for me, guys. Why is that? Why are wheelbarrows like, they don't deflate or inflate? They're always $60. $60 to $70. Anyway, found that to be a very interesting one, and I thought that advertisement was just so telling of, like, the way things were back then to the way they are now. And I like, once I thought about that, it was just like you have to work 4 times harder today to acquire the material to build a house than you did in 1978. So anyway, Uneducated Economist, you guys let me know.